All right. So that is the uh, 30. I mean, so that is the 10 minutes speaking. Let's start it. So, what would advice do you have for college graduates? Certainly, anyone to apply for a job at Solar City or Tesla or SpaceX. And if not, then if that doesn't work for whatever reason, then apply jobs at other companies in the area or a, or trying to start a company. If study engineering, you figure out how to design new things. Then it's literally easy to start a company. You just need to get a few like-minded people with you. I mean, actually, this business is quite hard to start a family based business because it's such a capital intensive business. So it may be better to do something in solar power, or you can do it in cars, do it in as kind of company supplier for cars or something like that. Most have college degrees of in business and physics, but basically his first venture is aerospace. How did you get to the studies to the chief technology officer of rocket ship company? Well, I do have a physics background that has me for as a foundation. I didn't read a lot of books and talk not to follow the trend. We have to decide it's a good thing in terms of physics approach of the first principles, which is rather than reasoning by analogy. You boil things down to the most fundamental truths you can image, and you reason up from there. Isn't it a good way to figure out if something really makes sense, or if it's just what everybody else is doing? It's hard to think that way. You can't think that way about everything. It takes a lot of effort. But if you're trying to do something new, it's a bad way to think. A meta framework was developed by physics to figure out quantitative things like quantum mechanics. So it's really a powerful method. And I want to know what is the only thing that has to write you about your life. Why isn't there surprised about the whole thing? Honestly, isn't it expected to for any of these things to happen? Honestly, yeah. I just I know I wanted to be involved in technology. And in fact, the only reason I started a company back in '95 and internet probably was because I couldn't get in. There were only a few internet companies and I couldn't get a job at any of them. Until I get a job at NetSpace and I sent my resume and I tried to hang out in the lobby or we would try to talk to anyone. So well, okay, well I guess I have to start a company. So I get a job anywhere. I wouldn't say I'm fearless. In fact, I think I feel fear quite strongly. But I if what we're doing isn't that what we're doing is important enough, then just override the fear. So not so I don't fear. I feel like more stronger than I would like. So this is the 5 second advertisement. Just skip it. I think also people tend to avoid risk on a personal level. As well, think if you don't know much that you can provide educative support, and if you were to divide from your job, that's and then help you don't feel that you feed the family and pay the rent. Okay, that's understandable. But let's say you're young and you're just coming out of college or coming out of high school or whatever. What do you risk? No, an organized staff. I mean, it's certainly not in any kind of modern necessity to earn enough money. It just live somewhere and eat food. And then whatever people what they are afraid of, it also what they're afraid of. I think people should be less risk averse than there's not much as risk. What is education like? Basically, downloading the light and algorithm into your brain, and it's actually amazingly bad in conventional ed- education. It's not like should be it's much more like friendly forces of learning the better. It's a learning. I also had lots of solid external questions because of trying to figure out what does it all mean, what is the support of things. And I come to the conclusion that if we can advance the knowledge of a world, like if we can do things expand the scope and the scale of consciousness, that we're better able to ask the great questions and become more educated, and that's really the only way forward. What drives you? What is this when you wake up in the morning to see a problem and do you want to solve it? The thing that drives me is that I want to be able to think about the future and feel good about that. So we are doing we can to have a future be as good as possible. Um, to be inspired by what is likely to happen and to look forward to the next day. So that what really drives me is trying to figure out how do we make sure that things are great. And I'm gonna be sure, and that's the light principle behind Tesla and SpaceX. Is that I think is pretty important that we accelerate the decision to sustainable generation and consumption of energy. It's inevitable, but it matters if it happens sooner or later. Okay, so this is the another 5 seconds advertisement. Let's just skip it. Next, SpaceX is about having make life multi-planetary and doing that we can to continue the dream of Apollo and ultimately make contribution to life becoming multi-planetary. That's all about about that thing. I think everyone is very interested that I'm making the life multi-planetary. That's exciting. It is exciting. So your vision there. I think particularly for Americans. If you think about American is a nation of explorers. People can come here from other parts of the world that choose to give up the known in favor of the unknown. So I think exploration, like the United States, is that this distillation of the human spirit of exploration, and that's why it appeals to Americans so much. You know, you can see this grand it was total tragedy and 7 people died. And that's really terrible, but a lot of people die all the time. But why do we care so much? Because it was a dream of exploration. They were dying along with those people. That's why. I mean, I talk about Tesla and SpaceX who failed at the beginning. You thought? Yeah, sure. Really? Of course. Nevertheless, to put all the money in there, I expected to lose it, and well, technically, I thought was, well, I take half the money from PayPal, and if I lose half of it, that's okay. But then, of course, the companies encounter difficulties, and then I have the choice of either like let the company die, or put all the money into the companies. And so, mm, I really don't want to company die, so I put all the money into the companies, and then I had to borrow the money from friends to pay living expenses. I'm just looking just for evidence of exceptional ability. And it's the track record of exceptional achievement, then it's likely that will continue into the future. Whereas it really depends on the stakes. The stakes are high. It's really important. then one should then and overcome the fear and I just do it anyway. Um, essentially, I mean, I just override fear, but I feel the fear. It's kind of annoying. I wish I didn't. I wish I felt it less. And so this is the another 5 seconds um, advertisement and just skip it. Oh, all right. So this is the end of this tennis speaking for today. See you in the 30 minutes speaking and the 20 minutes speaking French. All right. See you later.